Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So guys, the battle between Omoyele Sowore and the Nigerian state, and by the Nigerian state of course I mean Malam Buhari and his cabal. So the battle between Omoyele Sowore and Malam Buhari and his cabal continues unabated. So here is the latest installment, and here is the headline. Again, Sowore approaches court, seeks bail on self-recognition. So that's the headline. Sowore approaches court, seeks bail on self-recognition. So now let's get into exactly what the latest development is. Detained pro-democracy activist and convener of Revolution Now movement, Omoyele Sowore, has filed a motion before the Federal High Court in Abuja seeking bail on self-recognition. In a motion filed on Friday, Femi Falana, SAN, his lawyer, asked the court to grant Sowore bail on grounds of self-recognition or upon any condition the court may reasonably deem to impose in the circumstance of the case. Falana said that the applicant's right to fair hearing, dignity of human person, liberty, health, and freedom of movement are under threat and being violated. It stated that by Section 28 Paragraph 4 of the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act, as amended in 2013, a person detained pursuant of Section 27(1) can be admitted to bail by the court. The respected lawyer in the application disclosed that Sowore had on August 7 and 8, 2019, volunteered statements to the Department of State Services and had concluded investigation on the case and announced its findings. He argued that other Nigerians who participated in the protest of August the 5th, 2019 in different states had been released on bail upon arraignment. He said that his client had been detained since August the 3rd and had never been charged with any criminal offense. Recall that Justice Maya had on August 28 declined to hear the motion filed by Sowore challenging his detention by the Nigerian government. Efforts by his lawyers to move for oral application for bail were scuttled by the judge, who insisted that she could not review the decision of Justice Taiwo that granted an ex parte order for the DSS to detain him for 45 days. The motion filed by Falana reads, the applicant herein is seeking the order of the court admitting the applicant to bail on self-recognition or upon any condition the court may reasonably deem to impose in the circumstances of the case. Sowore was arrested in the early hours of August the 3rd in Lagos by DSS operatives for calling on Nigerians to take to the streets and express their frustration with the poor state of leadership in the country. So now that's the short and succinct summary of the latest state of play of the Sowore narrative. Sowore, of course, has now been detained by the DSS for 41 days now, and the court order that they got from this Justice Taiwo, the ex parte motion, was to detain him for 45 days. So now he's been detained for 41 days, and you would think that there's only 4 more days. So why then are they going to court again to seek bail on self-recognition? Well, they are going to court to seek bail on self-recognition or bail on any circumstances or under any circumstances that is reasonable that the court might deem to impose. They are seeking bail really because that 45 days is just a nominal period. It's just a placeholder. It's just really to legalize detaining this guy for a period. So they have legalized detaining him for 45 days just to hold him there within the law, and then of course they will continue to renew that or continue to look for reasons, and during that 45 days I can bet you that they are already looking for reasons to continue to detain him. So him now going to court again 41 days into the detention period, the period that the court granted, him now going to court again 41 days with only 4 days left is not really to be pedantic, although Sowore can be pedantic sometimes, and his lawyer equally can be pedantic public as well, and they might especially look to test the law. But beyond that, really, they have the recognition that that 45 days that was initially granted was just a nominal period. It's just a nominal period. It's just to hold him really for that 45 days to start off with. But then, of course, they know that they have no intentions of releasing Sowore after 45 days. So they will either go to court to seek a renewal of the original 45 days to say that their investigations are not yet concluded. So that would be their first port of call. And then if the court refuses that, they would then look for other reasons as well to say that, oh, this is another reason which is also state security related, why we intend or why we would like to continue to detain this guy. So for whatever and however reason, they will always and almost certainly will find reasons to continue to detain this guy. So the going to court by Sowore and Falana is not just for the publicity of it, although the publicity is crucial because it brings up this guy's name in the public consciousness again, and the public can then react again to the injustice of this guy being detained just for speaking out against a poor government which is running the country poorly, because this really falls within the remit of a democracy. Within a democracy, you have the right to call the government of the day to question. You have the right to question the government of the day, to query them either legitimately or illegitimately, and we saw all of that play out during Goodluck Jonathan's time when he was constantly and relentlessly being criticized, but he allowed that space for freedom of expression because he knew that freedom of expression was an essential component of a democratic state. So what Goodluck Jonathan did during his period was to try to put up a counter argument against whatever narrative was going on against him, to say, look, this is what I am doing, and this is the counter story to these allegations that you are hearing. So you might well choose to believe whatever it is that you choose to believe, but these criticisms, so long as they are within the bounds of law, then I can't really do anything about it other than to bring out a counter narrative to say, no, this is what the government is doing, this is what I am doing, and this is the state of play. So that is how things should run within a democracy. And whether you like or loathe Goodluck Jonathan, you would agree that he allowed for that space for people to have expression, and Nigerians fully expressed themselves during that particular dispensation. But of course, we're in new times now. We're in a draconian era now where everything is just all these nervous people that cannot handle criticism, and as soon as you say anything other than praise of them, that is immediately deemed as an act against the state, because of course a criticism of them is deemed in their mind as an act against the state, because they in their own mind feel that they constitute the state. And we have seen the impunity with which they rule, because they don't really govern, they rule. So we have a rulership and effectively a dictatorship. We can say that we have a dictatorship in Nigeria now, where the room for free expression is now being shut down firmly with the apparatus of state. We are seeing it playing out before our very own eyes, and Sowore is just the marquee name, is just the poster boy, it's just the popular name that we're all focusing on. But there are agitators and commentators being picked up all over the country. There's a chap in Kaduna who is a journalist who wrote something critical of the Buhari regime on his Facebook wall, and it was immediately picked up. So to criticize, to say that we would like this country to be better now, is effectively deemed as an act against the state within the Nigerian space under this particular dispensation. So the latest development in the Sowore world is what I am bringing to you with this video. So come tell me what you are making of what is going on with this fella in the comment section. But before you come join me to have this very important conversation, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. The bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Then come, let's have a talk about Sowore, the state of Nigeria, and freedom of expression within that firmament in the comment section. So I'll leave you here, carry on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.